So, hello, radio friends and fans, or whatever you are. This is the Schaub Junior 50. It's an update. I did a bit of glue work on the speaker cone. And lots of capacitors got replaced. I ended up having to replace this capacitor again because I put the other one in backwards. No, I actually didn't. I wired the speaker to the wrong side of the transformer, and it took out this capacitor. So I had to put a new one in. You can still see the residue of the other explosion that took place. Now, it was quite an event. Anyways, it's done. The big issue with this radio was, the front end. This set of coils, you can see, has needed some extensive work. They were all broken off. I think the radio took a fall, or somebody jammed something in the back here, and it broke off almost every single winding of the coils, and there was just this nest of wires. So I had to rebuild the entire front end. And that meant working out what was primary, what was secondary, according to the schematic. That's the short wave. This is the medium wave. And that's the long wave set of coils, transformers, coming in to the tube through this section here. So I had to, of course, and I was really lucky, because I don't know if you can even see it on these coils, but some of them, finding where the winding broke off was right up against the edge of the coil, and I had like 1 millimeter of little stub of wire sticking out, which I had to then extend with bits of transformer wire, and then get the polarity right, get the phasing right. So now it's working. This knob in the back here is actually a variable capacitor under this board back here. So with this knob you can adjust the amount of feedback coming into this IF amplifier detector, all-in-one unit over here. It's actually even the audio preamp as well. So what you're getting is this signal going back up here through that variable capacitor down this coil, and giving you some feedback into the IF amplifier detector. And this is the super regenerative portion of the circuit. It's actually got a feedback loop running through there with a tickler coil, which gets this coil going, all excited, and you can adjust the amount of feedback through that capacitor. But at the same time, it's also a super het, because in the front here, there's the front end, which you've seen, and in the local oscillator section, we've got some selections for the different coils, and then tank circuits feeding the triode. So this is a super het as well as a super regen. Very interesting, weird diagram. Only 2 tubes. Everything is just 2 tubes. So now I guess I can switch it on and show you. Okay, so it's powered up and standing the right way up, kind of. Rocks around a little bit. And I'll crank up the level all the way. I'm not sure what band I've selected it to. I think it's medium wave. No, it's short wave. Short wave. The tubes take a bit longer than usual to wind up. I find with these higher voltage filaments, they always take longer to heat up, and to heat up the cathodes. In the meantime, I removed these plates over here. They were as rusted as anything, and I put them in de-rusting agent, cleaned them all up nicely, did a cleanup of most things as best I could. Here it comes. There's a bit of hum. I think that the location of one capacitor that I replaced is not correct, so I'll be checking that out soon. But it's just a bit of hum. The radio itself actually works, so let's hear it.
Din partea noastră.
That's Radio Romania.
România, la Radio România Actualități.
Ai
So I don't know how good it is, but I'm going to demonstrate now the capacitor on the back. So I'm turning it in now. And that improves the sensitivity of the radio. The volume control actually also is down here. So you're playing with the bias of the front end to adjust the volume. So you have two different ways of boosting the sensitivity of the radio. One is through the bias and one is through the super regen. But if I crank this up, what I did earlier was I actually soldered a that's my signal generator, 12.3 megahertz, which should be on the 25 meter band, so that's pretty much on. Normally there's some stations out this way, it depends on the time of day though. But very sensitive, very fine turning to get it to go right. So that's this is now long wave. Long wave is extremely sensitive. You can tell. That's long wave, very sensitive. And this is medium wave. Now I have not yet actually succeeded in picking anything up on medium wave, but it is working. I've checked it. However, I know that medium wave around here, it's not strong. And in fact, something is still wrong because there should at least be some kind of static, which I'm really not getting. I've got two places on the tuning dial that that should not be there.
Everyday Life.
Something is going on over there that's not right. Anyway. It's to do with the switch, the band select switch. It's not making contact, it's not closing contacts where it should. I'll get that. Anyway, that's your update. Next, I've removed the speaker cloth, so I'm going to put new cloth on. Let me just turn that down. I've taken an old speaker cloth off. It was really bad, so I'm putting a new speaker cloth on. It's going to be a more modern substance, but it'll have that old world look about it. It's also this kind of a color, but not that texture. That pattern I just can't get. I washed the old cloth. I'm going to stretch it out and see if it'll take on here, but I'm not too optimistic about it. We shall see. Stay tuned, and there'll be more.